'cause I can watch the game all day long. And I can stretch my legs out in the bed, extra pillow underneath my head. I don't know why nobody ever told me about the upside lonely. I got a lot more room for my stuff, and I only have to wash one cup. I can stay up late and play my guitar, and the groceries go twice as far. I don't know why nobody ever told me about the upside lonely. Your girlfriends ain't ringing the phone off the wall. I never have to hear from that mother-in-law. Ain't cut the grass since the middle of June. I smoke a big cigar up in my living room. Don't know why nobody ever told me about the upside lonely. Let the trash pile up right by the door. Eat pizza and ice cream 3 times a day, 'cause I ain't worried about watching my weight. I don't know why nobody ever told me about the upside lonely. Yeah, man, just think about all the good things about you being gone. Stretch out here at home. Hey man, come on in. Don't mind the muddy shoes on the white carpet. She ain't here. You hungry? Hey man, I got some food if you want to eat. I got a microwave oven with little pictures on the front of it. You just pick what you want to eat and push the button, and it will cook it for you. Yeah, man, you can smoke that cigar up here in the kitchen. Just use that vase over there. Need something to drink? We got beer, bourbon, whiskey, scotch, Diet Coke, Fanta. Yeah, man, I bet you've been on the road for a minute. Bathroom's right down the hall. Switches on the left, doors on the right. Just remember to leave the lid up. Leave it up. Hey everybody, welcome to Wednesday night Facebook Live. Keeping it swinging here with your host Brian Nova. So glad you guys could join us here. It is the night before Thanksgiving, and I know I've got lots to be thankful about, and one of them is thankful that you guys are joining us tonight. So thank you so much. I thought tonight would be a good night to start off with a little Duke of Ellington. In a mellow tone, feeling fancy free. Hey, there's something wrong here. I forgot to turn my amplifier on. Ellington, you're supposed to tell Dad about this stuff. He's going, why do I sound so quiet? There we go. All right. Let's try that one again. In a mellow tone, feeling fancy free, and I'm not alone. I've got company, everything's okay. The livelong day with this mellow song, I can't go wrong. In a mellow tone, that's the way to live. If you mope and grow, something's gotta give. We'll just go your way and laugh and play. There's joy known in a mellow tone. feeling fancy free. I'm not alone. I've got company. Everything's okay. The live long day with this mellow song. I can't go wrong in a mellow tone. That's a way to live. If you mope and grow, something's gotta give. We'll just go your way and laugh and play. There's joy unknown in a mellow tone. In a mellow tone by the great Duke of Ellington. Well, hello everybody. Hi, Liz Huntington. Good to see you guys. I hope you and Chris are doing well. My brother James. We got to share a cigar over the Thanksgiving weekend. I hope so. John Connors, good to see you out there, John. Yeah, glad you enjoy the yas. Die. Elizabeth, Liz Holmes. Liz, you and Bob, hope you guys are well. And of course, Sharon. And oh my goodness, look at that. How great to see you guys, all our Hawaiian side of the family out there. Well, listen, just some little housekeeping stuff. Remember to subscribe to YouTube. We're going to be moving to YouTube, so we got to have you guys all subscribed up so we can bring you over onto the YouTube platform with us. Also, we have our tip jar right here, paypal.me, briannovamusic.com. And we want to say hi to all our pals out there, starting in Seattle, all the way up in Seattle. Of course, we have all our pals up at the Churchill Room. Good to see you guys out there, Churchill Land on the east side. Hope everybody's doing well. And of course, all of our pals over at the Vertigo Club, especially two of my dear pals, Mr. Mike Shimazaki and John Diome. Hope those guys are doing well. At least, Mike, I hope you're doing well and keeping John out of trouble. It's a full-time job, I can tell you that. And good to see you guys out there. Eric Raddick, all the way from Oakland, California. Well, we'll move down south from Seattle down to the Bay Area. We want to say hi to all of our friends up in, all the way up into North Sonoma, Napa Valley, all our friends over there, and of course, in Oakland City. East Bay, baby. And in the Bay, in the middle of the Bay, San Francisco Bay. Hope everybody's doing well up there. Lots to be thankful for, of course. And, we got my pal in the Boisha up there. Some more Vertigo Club folks. Good to see you guys. I hope you and Morgana are doing well. Newlyweds, folks. That's right, newlyweds. And, listen, we've got, I think that's about all the housekeeping I've got. Oh, I should probably show you the leaf of the day. This lovely little beast here is a Davidoff 702 series. I'll leave it up to you to think about what this is really going to look like in a few hours. I can tell you I'm going to light it on fire. That's about all I can tell you. What else? I want to say an early happy birthday to my dearest of friends, the great Primo Kim. His birthday is this coming Friday. Primo, hope you have a wonderful birthday. I'm sorry Sonia and I can't be in Seattle to celebrate it with you. Song made famous by the great Nat King Cole. When I fall in love, it will be forever, or I'll never fall in love. Well, in a restless world like this is, love is over before it's begun. And too many moonlight kisses to be cooled by the warmth of the sun. When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never give my heart. And from the moment that I feel you feel that way too, that's when I'll fall in love with you. When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never give my heart. And from the moment that I feel you feel that way too, that's when I fall in love. That's when I'll give you my heart. That's when I'll fall in love with you. One of those beautiful, beautiful ballads I simply love, called When I Fall in Love. Hey, we got the great Terry Miller is out there with us. Terry, good to hear from you, brother. Terry, of course, is one of the great contributors to this show, and you'll get to see Terry in just a little bit. Also, hi, Sarah. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Trudy, miss you guys up there in the north, too. Hope to see you soon. And Carl and Marianne, happy Thanksgiving to you guys as well. Man, so glad you could join us. And I hope things up in the San Juan Islands are good. We sure miss you guys. Looking forward to getting up there next summer. Well, listen, it is time, folks. I want to bring my special guest for the night up here because we've got lots of music to share with him. My guest is a dear friend of ours here at the show and mine personally. And he is one of the great violinists on the planet. Mads is an internationally renowned violinist, composer, has not one, but 2 Grammy Awards, and was a 2016 Downbeat Critics Poll Rising Star Award. So this man has got it going on. He's had 9 years in one of the great quartets called the Turtle Island Quartet. Also toured with wonderful Stanley Clark's band. That must have been something. We'll hear a little bit more about that. And he's played with everybody from Chick Corea and Ramsey Lewis to Kenny Barron and Leo Kotke and Paquito de Rivera. And I've had the great honor of getting a chance to play with him as well, myself. So I want to bring in our pal right now, all the way from the Bay Area, but via Copenhagen, Denmark, our pal, Mads Tolling. Mads, are you there?
I am there.
There he is.
All right.
Hi,
Thanks
hi.
so much,
How are you?
Thanks for those nice words.
Oh, dude, I wouldn't have said it if they weren't true.
That's very kind of you. I'm doing good. I'm sitting right here in my apartment here in Albany, California. And some people might wonder, like, Albany, New York. That can't be one in California. There is one, and it's right next to Berkeley, and that's where I live when I'm not in Copenhagen in Denmark.
I hope I didn't mash that word up too bad. Like, my Danska is not so good anymore.
No, your Dansk is pretty damn good.
Hey, listen. Speaking of Denmark, what are you up to? What do you? I know I've seen you on Facebook doing some beautiful Danish songs and some of your compositions. What's going on in the world of Mads Tolling right now?
Right. Yeah. So, my last live gig was at Yoshi. Some of the Bay Area folks may be familiar with that in Oakland. That was on March 8th. And after all that, everything shut down. I was supposed to go to Denmark on a tour there, a 3-week tour. It, of course, didn't happen. So after all of that went down, I've basically been doing a lot of these sort of cul-de-sac, driveway shows. I go out, I have my violin, I have a loop pedal, I have all these effects that makes it possible for me to basically create a band on the spot. And then I play for people, and we'll have anywhere from 20 to 60 people out there sitting out, spaced out, 6 feet apart in their bubbles. And that's kind of what I've been doing, about 10 to 15 of those shows. And then I've been doing a ton of, live streaming shows like these as well. So it's really been a time to reconsider and rethink, think outside the box and make it happen despite all the headwinds.
No doubt, no doubt. I think we're all sort of kind of clawing at that same box. Hey, listen, tell us a little bit about your beginnings in Denmark, and kind of who were some of your, who did you kind of look up to? Who were some of your influences growing up in Copenhagen?
Right. So I started playing the violin when I was 6 years old, and some of my early memories were going
those late starters, huh?
Yeah, I know. I'm a bit of a slacker that way. Actually, funny you mentioned it, on the violin. That is a bit of a late start because
you're kidding me.
Boy, there are all these kids that are 4 years old, and from a lot of Chinese that
yeah, sure.
5 hours. I did a show recently, and I was a very cute girl in the probably about 9 years old in the audience, and she came up to me and was really impressed because I did all this jazz stuff. She wasn't familiar with that, and then her mom was like, "Oh, you got to tell her how much to practice," And I told her, well, when I was your age, I was practicing about 45 minutes a day, and then an hour and a half when I got older. And she was like, "Oh, you shouldn't say that because she's already practicing 4 hours a day." And she was like 8 years old, So it's a whole nother ball game. But just to go back to what you're asking, so I used to play in the streets of Copenhagen with my sister on Strøget, the longest walking street in Northern Europe, which you may remember.
I do remember it very well.
Yeah, and I think that was where I earned my first American dollar. I remember I was like, "Where does that come from? That looks very exciting," and it was $1. I was 9. I didn't know anything about that. So then what really changed it for me was when my dad, I was about 14 years old, he handed me a cassette tape of Miles Davis' Birth of the Cool. And that really kind of changed my whole perspective on what I wanted to do with my life when it came to music, because something about music really grabbed me. I love classical music. Of course, I practiced all of that, my Beethoven and Mozart and Haydn and so forth. But something about the expression in that music that spoke to me in another way. And since that time, it's been my goal to figure out how it's done.
Hey, does anybody else in your family? Did your parents play music or?
My dad plays the saxophone probably on the level of Bill Clinton, or maybe even lower. Not George Clinton, but Bill Clinton.
Yeah, gotcha.
So
All right. But you had
nothing to
music
write
around
home.
the house, obviously. I mean, there was
Yeah.
records going on and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, my mom is really into opera, so she would always blast the opera, and that maybe was at a point when I was young where I kind of like, that's not really my, too much vibrato, and at that time, now I can appreciate it, but I really like the clean expressiveness that I found in a lot of jazz that that really spoke to me somehow. And there was a guy in Denmark who got to live to be 100 years old, whose name was Sven Asmussen, and he recorded with the great Duke Ellington and with Grappelli, and he was one of the great jazz violinists. And I learned a lot from him. Him also being Danish, they call him the fiddling Viking, Sven Asmussen, and so he was a great influence in me.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, listen, let's let the folks hear a little bit of that influence. We've got a few videos here that we're going to pop up here. The first one we have is something that's been on most Americans' mind for the last 2 weeks. This is Mads, myself, and of course the indubitable, the ever-present, omnipresent, effervescent Terry Miller on the bass. And we're doing a Ray Charles version of Georgia. Check it out. Here we go, Mads. 3, 4. Beautiful, beautiful, man.
Yeah, Brian.
And I got to thank you for doing what I would consider the correct chord changes. I mean, I know when it comes to a lot of these tunes in jazz, like Georgia, for instance, there's the 3 or 4 versions that everybody thinks Hoagie Carmichael wrote, and then there's the versions that were recorded originally, and then there's the versions that we play as musicians night in, night out. And those are the versions, actually, the chord changes that I learned it from when I was on the road with Violist. That's what he wanted to hear. Just like Ray Charles wanted to hear all the wanted to hear the bottom of it. He didn't want to get it too fancy.
Yeah, I know. I love these changes. I love the Ray changes for this one. This is solid, good stuff. You can't do better than Ray Charles, I don't think.
You cannot. But you've been trying. So let me talk about some of the guys you've been playing with. Talk to me about Stanley Clark. What was it like being on the road with one of the great bassists of the world?
Well, I'll tell you what. When I got the gig with Stanley, I was barely out of school. Now I'm 40, and back then I was 23. So I was as green as
Berkeley School?
Berkeley College of Music. Yeah, okay. Exactly. So what happened was the great Jean-Luc Ponty, the wonderful jazz violinist, came to my school, did a master class. I met him. I played with him. He heard me play. And about a year went by, and then I guess Stanley Clark was looking to start a new band. He'd actually been writing a lot of film scores at the time. He had something like 40 motion picture scores. But he decided it's time to go on the road again. And so he was looking for a violinist that could really improvise, And so that's kind of one of my, I guess, fortes, is being able to play bebop and then just play over changes. So Ponty gave my name to Stanley Clark. That's how it all started for me. And so, yeah, I was like 22 years old, and I was green as they come, and going into a band like Stanley's, where there's a lot of, Jerry Brown, who was the drummer in School Days, was in the band. There was a lot of experienced gentlemen in that group, and it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot on how to be on the road and how to kind of act on stage, and Stanley was a wonderful mentor to me that way.
Oh, I bet he was. How about some of the other folks that you've toured with? Do you have other artists that sort of gave you that same sort of education on the road, if you will?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the band I spend the most time with outside of my own groups was definitely Turtle Island String Quartet, and we even won 2 Grammy Awards. One of the awards was for a Coltrane album we did of John Coltrane's music, playing A Love Supreme, called The Legacy of John Coltrane. So something I never imagined would happen, that happened twice, actually, with that group, which was a dream come true, obviously. But that was a very different, although I did both Stanley's band and Turtle Island's band at the same time, 2 completely different concepts. Because in that group, you're basically 4 string players, 2 violins, 1 viola, and 1 cello, trying to play jazz. And it's a great concept, but it also is very challenging, because you have 4 instruments that sound kind of the same. And that group really taught me a lot about how to arrange and how to write for chamber groups, chamber jazz. And it equipped me with a lot of arranging and composition chops, being in that group, for sure.
Boy, no doubt. Yeah, especially 9 years of that. That's amazing.
It was a good long time. Yeah, enough to get a lot out of it, and to see it kind of blossom, it was a great time. And they're right. That's actually why I moved to Albany, California. The leader of the group lives in Albany.
Oh, really? So do you guys still play together sometimes, or?
We haven't played a whole lot, but we hang out sometimes and stay in touch. But even though Albany is not a big town, it's funny how it works sometimes.
Yeah. I have some friends here in the desert, for instance, that I saw them more when I lived in Seattle or San Francisco or Sonoma than I see when I'm living back down here in the desert now.
It's probably, obviously my family's in Denmark, and I probably see my parents more than my sister, who lives 10 minutes away from me.
Whereabouts in Denmark do your parents live?
They live in Hellerup, if you're familiar with where that is.
It's a suburb of Copenhagen?
It's just a little bit north. So you have Gentofte, Hellerup, Charlottenlund, and it's not far from the center at all. It's about a 10-minute drive.
Oh, nice. Nice.
I mean, Copenhagen is a very old city, so everything is very kind of close together within the walls kind of thing.
Yeah, what a place, so I miss it. Hey, let's do a bebop tune. We've got another video here to show everybody of Mad showing some of his mad bebop chops off with, again, the genetically perfect Terry Miller on bass and yours truly on the guitar. We're doing a Charlie Parker composition called Confirmation. Give it a listen. Here we go, boys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, man, it just sounds so good.
Nice, Brian.
Really
Little
swinging
telepathy
it.
there. Little telepathy at the end there, huh?
Yeah, yeah, the band that ends together, as they say.
Pretty good. And we should also mention that this year, Charlie Parker, the bird, would have been 100 years old, and he was the composer of that.
Yes, man. Yeah, boy. I'd much rather be out celebrating his birthday this year than what we've been doing. That's for sure in 2020. Hey,
Yeah,
couple of our pals say hi. Dennis Crosby says hi.
nice. Oh, Dennis, great guy.
Yeah, Dennis is sort of on a facial rant lately. He's picking on Cherry's face, and he's picking on my face earlier, although for good reason. I did look pretty rough.
Man,
And,
you got a great setup there. I'm blown away by the professional aspect of your presentation here, Brian. I mean,
well, it's just all my amps in one room. That's really what it comes down to.
you made it work. You made it work. I'm impressed.
And
I gotta
Tom
work on that.
Williamson. Tom Williamson says hi, all the way from Canada. He said he was playing along with us. Tom, if you were playing along with us in Canada, you'd be in the key of D. We're in F. There's an exchange rate in chords there between Canada and
At least he wasn't in Australia. That would have been natural.
yeah, exactly. And that's really hard.
That's the polar opposite.
Exactly. I like it. So, do you miss Denmark? Do you miss Europe as a whole? I mean, I remember when I was there, I loved it. Everything was musically was different for me there than it is here. And do you miss that part of it?
Yeah, I miss it. Yeah, there's a strong music tradition. Not just, I mean, jazz is real strong there. I think there's because literally, I mean, the culture was so affected by all the Americans that came through there, including Stan Getz, Dexter Gordon, Stuff Smith, who
Miles.
lived there. Miles, I mean, they came through and lived there for years. Johnny Griffin. So that has really influenced things. But there's also a folk music tradition and the traditional songs of the country that are integrated, and also people may be familiar with ECM, which is obviously has the whole European vibe label, open space, kind of sound like you're playing from the mountains of Norway or something in some of those recordings, and all of that, and all of that stuff is stuff I grew up with, and it's still something you see here, but it's definitely stuff I miss.
The land of bass players too, I might add, there in Denmark. I remember when I was there, I got to play a lot with the great Danish bassist who's escaping my name right now, Niels Henning, Orsted Pedersen.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's great, man.
We used to play right off Destroy It at a club called Ben Webster's. Were you around when Ben Webster's was still in business?
It may have been very early on in my life. I don't never went there. The place that they actually reopened is called Montmartre.
I remember that place. Yeah.
So that one, sadly now because, not far from Tivoli, but sadly now because of COVID, they have temporarily closed. I hope they may be permanent, but we hope that they come back to reopen that. But there's a lot of amazing clubs there. And Montmartre is one of the standard because you had the house band of Kenny Drew and Niels Henning, Austin Petersen back in the day playing there. So.
Yeah, I got to play there with Kenny wasn't there, but I played there a couple times with Joe Pass and Nils. But Nils and I played at Ben Webster's a couple of times, and I remember one night, every other night or so, every other time we played there, he might have been on the road, and he'd send in a sub, and every bassist he sent was just a monster. I mean, they were just like. I remember one time we were doing Donnelly at some ungodly tempo, And this kid's just, and he's like looking over at the bar and he's ordering a drink, going through all these changes, you know, and he's like talking to his girlfriend. And I mean, and I'm scuffling for my life just trying to play the tune. And he's just nothing to it at all. Just, this is real, very nice, very nice, very nice. And there were hundreds of these bassists. And I remember a pal of mine in Seattle, he says, hey, Brian, next time you go to Copenhagen, I want you to take me with you. And I'm like, you don't want to go to Copenhagen.
If you're a bass player, it's not a good place.
If you're a bass player, I don't know. Yeah, that's like wanting to go to Chicago, go play pickup basketball or something.
But you got to have your totally unique style that only you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is actually, I don't know, I wonder if you play with this guy. There's a man there by my name, Mads Vinding.
I did play with Mads Vinding, yes.
Yeah, he's also a monster.
My Mads is a monster. Yeah. Everybody I played with over there, I'll tell you, they were monsters, and just like yourself, they were monsters and super nice people. I just enjoyed hanging with them as much as I enjoyed playing with them. It was just, it's a beautiful place.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah.
How about teaching? I know you do I know you do a lot of clinics and a lot of different seminars. What are you up to there?
Well, that's actually what I've been spending a lot of time on during this pandemic, which is I've started a video course, teaching the violin, but it's actually a self-sustaining course in that so far we've done 50 videos. None of it has been released so far, but when it will be released, it will be a complete course from beginner to intermediate. And it's a course that will teach people complete basics of playing the violin, but using a different system that's, say, Suzuki, which is all geared around classical music. My whole point is teaching people how to improvise, teach people how to do these special techniques, and teach people how to swing, which and have good time, which unfortunately for a lot of string players is not the case. Most string players spend most of their time on technique, which is obviously important, and intonation. But rhythm is so, as we know in jazz, is so totally key. So that's what this course is going to be all about. It's called the Ultimate Violin Course, and we'll get it out probably I'm collaborating with a gentleman on it. Will come out in the spring for that one.
Oh man, that's fantastic. That's great news. And where can folks kind of follow that on your website? Are you covering that stuff kind of?
Yeah, so that's one of the things. The pandemic thing has given me time to finally get a new website. So yeah, the people can go to madstolling.com, and then eventually it will also be on the Ultimate Violin Course. There'll be way more information there. So it's not out yet, but I think it will be pretty cool when it gets out, because just all the camera angles and teaching people sort of moving into the 21st century as far as music education on the violin, I think it'll be kind of interesting for folks out there.
I bet. Hey, listen, let's listen to one more song. You got time, Mads?
Yeah, maybe even one where you're singing a little bit.
We've got one of those. We got one of my favorite songs, and I learned it from the great Nat King Cole. And I know Nat used to do a lot of stuff with the great Stuff Smith. A lot of his recordings, and so that was one.
I didn't know that actually. That's interesting. Would he play piano or sing on a?
Yeah. There is only a handful of records, what I call the desert island records, the ones if I was stuck with, and probably my number one of those would be Nat King Cole, After Midnight Sessions. It is his definitive work, and it's got his quartet or his trio with him, and the featured artists are Stuff Smith on the violin, and he's got Juan Tizol on trombone, and a couple of other players, saxophones. I'm trying to remember who it was on sax. Been a long time since I've read the liner notes, but I'll tell you, yeah, that's the one. And so there's a lot of stuff he does with Stuff Smith on that record. I'll get you a copy.
Awesome.
I'll send it to you.
Yes, I'd love to check that out.
So here's Mads and myself, and of course Terry Miller, Carol's husband, who is going to play with us the wonderful tune Sweet Lorraine. Here we go, boys. brand new choo-choo toy. When I met my sweet Lorraine, she's got a pair of eyes that are brighter than the summer skies. When you see them, you realize why I love my sweet Lorraine. Now when it's raining, I don't miss the sun, because it's in my baby's smile. And to think that I'm the lucky one that will lead her down the aisle. Each night I pray that no one will steal her heart away. I can't wait until that lucky day when I marry a sweet Lorraine. Yeah, man. Because it's in my baby's smile. And to think that I'm the lucky one that will lead her down the aisle. Each night I pray that no one will steal her away. Well, I can't wait until that lucky day when I marry sweet Lorraine. That lucky day when I marry sweet Lorraine. Okay. Yeah, man, it's beautiful, man. You sound so great. So listen, do you got any new CDs, any new music that you're working on right now, ready to come out?
You know, I've given the whole CD thing a little bit of a break. Just my garage is full of CDs. I'm trying to get
I was gonna say, I've got a wall in my garage that probably resembles that.
Trying to get rid of those first. But no, in all seriousness, maybe the next thing will be like a Yule program, a Christmas holiday program, because I'm gonna do that next. I'm arranging a bunch of music, so I don't have that in my arsenal. So that probably will be the next thing. So I'm arranging some cool Nordic holiday songs mixed with some Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale stuff. So I think I think that'll maybe be the next one. We'll see.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I can't wait to hear it. Well, listen, Mads, thank you so much for joining us here. You're the perfect holiday guest for us. I mean, going into Thanksgiving, it's just great to have you here, and I hope you'll come back and visit us. Maybe even before Christmas, we could maybe do. I'm thinking about doing a little Christmas show with Christmas songs from all over the world, and maybe we can get you to do one of the Christmas.
I'll do a little Danish something for you. No problem.
I would love it. I would love it. I wish I could remember. So my music prof was Danish. That's how I got introduced to Denmark, was through my music prof in college.
Oh, really? So it goes back to that, and that's how you ended up going over there.
That's how I ended up going over there. I have relatives in Denmark and even more in Sweden. But what really drug me over there, I mean, it was always one of those things where it's like, oh, one of these days I want to go meet my family over there. One of these days I want to meet my family.
How long were you actually there for?
A year and a half, first time around.
Oh, pretty good.
In and out. Yeah, it was a nice little stay. But it was my music prof. I was struggling through school, and he told me, if you can graduate, we'll go do a trip to Copenhagen. And I mean, it was the morning I landed, I fell in love with the place. Never wanted to leave. Yeah, it was really fun. Anyway, we're going to do a Christmas show, and I hope you'll be part of it. And we'll be in touch. And thank you again so much, Mads, for joining us tonight. Thank
you, Brian. I appreciate it very much.
All right. See you soon. Hi. All right, Mads. Yeah, what fun. Listen, we have got really nothing more to talk about other than we have make sure that you subscribe YouTube, and also remember our little paypal.me tip jar. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. Jerry White, thank you for joining us here. I see one of the folks that joined us today reminded me about a concert I did with Joe Pass in '94 up at the Vancouver Cultural Center. I remember that one very well, Jerry, because that was one of the first times I ever sang with Joe. I had played with him before, but he really put me on the spot there that night where he made me sing a song with him, and yeah, that was a life-altering experience, to say the least. But anyway, and of course, Sun Valley Jazz Fest. I used to love it out there. I hope to return to Sun Valley someday soon and play some jazz. Here's a Joe Pass piece. Joe taught me years ago. That is one of my favorite songs. And it's a song I used to play every night when I lived in Seattle. I used to call it the Seattle theme song. Here's that rainy day again. It looks like, I think I saw Tom going by there. Seeing it should be the Vancouver Victoria one. Hey, thank you, David Nova. Thank you, David. It's very nice to have my little brother on the show here. And Dennis Crosby, thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis. Man. Anyway, I want to wish all of you guys out there happy Thanksgiving. In fact, maybe we can get Ellington the Wonder Dog over here to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving. I think you saw him at the beginning of the show. But he just got his special haircut, and he's got himself a little bandana here. And he had a puppy cam. There it is. There you go. Say hi to everybody at Pups. Yeah, he says, "Done, Dad. I like the other camera better." Anyway, we want to wish you guys a very, very happy holiday weekend. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. And thanks again to Mads Toling for joining us. Thank you, Mads. Thank you, Carol's husband, Terry Miller, for joining us here tonight. And a big, big round and shout out to the lovely, lovely Miss Sony, always Miss Sony over here keeping us together. Can we do a Miss Sony cam? We're not doing a Miss Sony cam tonight, so you'll just have to look at the pups. Hey, Mark, thanks. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, my brother. And David, oh no, I don't know what that means. Oh, the accent. Oh, David. We've been watching too much Schitt's Creek around here, I can tell you, folks. Hey, anyway, thanks everybody. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and remember to be kind out there, be gentle, be forgiving as one can be, and remember, relaxed. And things start getting you down. Remember to keep it swinging. Take care.